Welcome to the Reticle Up podcast, where I, three-gun Kenzie, will be interviewing competitive shooters, hunters, fishermen, archers, entrepreneurs, and outdoorsmen. Come learn with me as I interview people from all walks of life, in different disciplines, all across the world, from novices to professionals of all ages. No matter what, everyone has something they can teach you, so come join me on the journey. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Reticle Up podcast. So this is going to be a little bit of a different episode. We are here talking about Gals Day at the Range, which was an event we had last weekend where ladies could come out, learn to shoot pistols, rifles, shotguns, PCCs, kind of a whole field day. So I've got some of the people that came to the event and of course my awesome ROs that you all know and love on here. But before I kick it off too, I wanted to say thank you so much to a lot of the sponsors that support this event. So Vel Ammunition sent 5,000 rounds of 223, and CNC Indoor Range over in South Carolina, they sent 5,000 rounds of 9mm. So without that, we would have not had as much fun as we did. Camp Davy Crockett, of course, hosted us at the range. They supplied a lot of the ammo as well. And of course, the awesome bays for us to play in. Thank you to Hunters HD Gold. They came down with the Magical Mystery Tour, donated some certificates for the ladies to get some glasses. I cannot thank Nick and DoubleStar USA enough either. They came down, they brought the rifles, and most importantly, they brought the full auto rifle. So there was a lot of first timers shooting machine guns, which was so cool. Timney Triggers also outfitted a lot of the triggers for the rifles, for the pistols, and that was awesome. Run Gun Industries have always been super supportive. Tactical sent us some items to give away. Steel Target Paint, they donate items for giveaways, and they brought all the paint that we needed, hand sanitizers, knuckle wipes, all that good stuff. EGW, they're amazing. They make awesome case gaugers and red dot mounts. They sent us some stuff to give away there. Go Fast, Don't Suck sponsored the event as well. NotchGear sent us those ladies' ponytail hats that we all love. Tru-Spec outfitted us with the best patches ever too, as well as some other gift certificates. And Heckler Koch, man, you guys rock. You guys sent us an awesome knife to give away, as well as sent us a pistol for Red Dot, for HKVP9, for ladies to shoot. And last but not least, Wideners as well. They're local to me, one of their writers, and they sent us ammo as well. So want to say thank you so much to the sponsor. We are looking forward to next year. So let's kick it off. I know we're boiling with excitement here. First of all, I've got to hand it over to Tori because this girl helped when she shouldn't have, just like Crystal, which I'll talk about, helped when she shouldn't have, came down to shoot. Gosh, she ran around with her boyfriend Rob's gun on her hip all day long. Like, you were floored and ready to go, Tori. How'd you feel?
I really am. Yes. It was incredible. Like? I shoot a lot of PCC at matches, and so it was really nice to kind of get some more experience with pistols and shotgun and rifles under my belt. I mean, it was great.
Yeah. And like for you, had you shot a lot of that stuff before?
Just once or twice of Rob's. So I've really just shot PCC, and then a few times I've shot Rob's. So that was really my first experience shooting, in a setting where it would kind of be like a match.
Yeah. And like, okay, so pistol, rifle, shotgun, of course, PCC. What was like the biggest thing that you really had to work on or like learn the most at the event?
I want to say pistol, just the red dot, fishing for it. I'm going to try iron sight this weekend, but I think that's going to be the biggest thing is finding the red dot on the pistol. Yep. It's just, it jumps around.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we have our GM Carry Optics guy here, Trace, who shoots a red dot. So, Trace, I'm going to kick it over to you.
Oh, yeah. Lordy. Well, I was really happy to be a part of this event. It was more fun than I could even imagine. I mean, just being able to help along, it was amazing. And it was very, very good for me to actually feel like I was part of it and actually see the progress with the girls. And it was very rewarding, I'll say that.
Now, and for
you had some great advice too. Like you really did, Trace. He gave me some good tips and some things to do to help with that, finding the red dot and things like that, some practicing things. So he was a huge help to a lot of the ladies.
Yeah, and I actually told her before we went out, I said, this guy's a GM pistol shooter. I said, so if he tells you anything that's contradictory to anything that I have told you, listen to him.
He did tell me that. He told me to listen to you and not him, Trace.
Which actually proves my point of I was hand selective in the range officers that I had out of the range. And it proves my point of these people, Rob and Trace, are very patient, first of all, with women, not condescending. But Rob knows, like, hey, I might not be the best pistol shooter for red dot, right? And Trace has proved it time and time again. So, like, for you guys to come out and have, like, the best of the best to teach you, or these guys that are just so humble about shooting, that was a really big deal to me. So, that was huge. Trace is very introverted, by the way, so he's loving this right now.
Love every minute of it.
We can all tell.
I finally got my volume and everything going now, so
there you go. So Crystal, actually, and I'll get to all of you. I know this will be a long podcast here, but Crystal, you have been coming to matches with your husband Ryan for years. You've been watching me shoot for years. What was it like to have a day for you?
it was very different. I was not at first. I mean, I was comfortable because I'm used to it, but then it was just like, wait, it's me. I'm actually doing this myself and not watching everyone else do it. And so when I got up to actually do a match, the setup that you had up there, I forgot to turn my red dot. I was so nervous. And then Malin was, one of the other girls was filming me. And then you said Trace, right?
Yeah.
Trace, he was there. But I mean, I was so comfortable because I knew what to do to each target, but I was so nervous. So I didn't do as good as I thought. I started shooting the ground instead of the target. And I was like, oh my gosh, I know better than this. And my husband was one of the volunteers. And I was just like, please don't let him see me. But then I redeemed myself later and then did a much better job and posted that one. And I had one miss. So, but I had a blast. It was so much fun.
Yeah, that was awesome. Crystal, you totally brought pressure on yourself when I know Ryan well enough where he just thought it was badass that you were pulling the trigger out there. You know what I mean? He could not wish for more than for you to like shooting. So
yeah, that's all he's ever wanted me to do is just do that with him. And I've been a little nervous, about it. And then I don't know. I don't know why I have been because I actually surprised myself as good as I did.
Yeah, you did awesome. Trace, pro tip about turning on a red dot. When do you do
that? Typically at make ready.
Yeah. I remembered that as I was shooting the ground.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so Kelsey, bless your heart. So you drove a 4-hour trip in 10 hours to be there?
Yeah, that was interesting. We made some stops, but I don't know how that turned into 10 hours. So
when you saw the event and you brought a friend Caitlin too, like what was your process and expectations? Like when you saw the event, registering for the event, like what did you think it was gonna be?
So the 4-hour drive definitely turned into, we're both moms. So we had our first free moment in a very long time. So we definitely took our time, but registering, I didn't have a ton of expectations. I just knew it was gonna be fun. The gun community is just such a cool, an amazing group of people. So I just went into it knowing that we were going to learn a lot. It was going to be fun, but just knowing how you like to have fun too. So I knew this was going to be a fun event. I was so excited to get into it. And then Caitlin was able to come last minute. Her husband switched schedules. So that was really cool to be able to bring her into that. And now she wants to compete. So yeah, it was awesome. Very little expectation because I just knew it was going to be fun. I just didn't know what to expect.
Very neat. So Tori's dove in, I guess, competing and wants to do more.
Yeah.
Kelsey, you got your friend wanting to do more. And Crystal, when do you think you're going to start competing here?
Very soon. I think you and I are making plans to start doing some training, and I have been shopping for guns. Yeah.
Yes.
Made my husband very happy. My husband is just ecstatic over that. So yeah. But yeah, it's very soon I'll be signing up for my first match.
It's very addictive.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's awesome.
I felt like that was the general, everyone that we spoke with who had never even touched a gun before was just so excited to get out there and do it again. I know Acadia, she was super excited. She was already planning on getting one, and she couldn't wait to get into some matches. So, I mean, it was incredible.
It was awesome to see everyone open up and their confidence level rise as like the day progressed. Everyone just looked kind of nervous, at the very, very beginning. And then as the day went on and they're working with all the staff, it's just, you could just see confidence level, and the serotonin just rising. And it was such a cool thing to witness, especially people who had never probably been behind a firearm before. Yes. It was awesome. It was so cool.
Yeah, there were so many people there that had never shot a gun before. It really surprised me.
I think Rob ended with about 35 new shooters. Brian kind of did the count on that. So
wow.
Yeah.
That's
about
awesome.
half. About half.
Wow.
Now, I actually want to ask Trace and Rob a question real quick. So, Rob, I'll start with you. Rob, you had the most difficult station, in my opinion, because I'm in love with shotguns. I've always been in love with shotguns. However, convincing ladies to shoot shotguns when they've probably had PTSD from someone teaching them the wrong way, right? Or they don't know how to hold it. I wasn't over there very often. So, what was that experience like? And how awesome was it to see all these women be able to handle, 12 gauges and whatnot?
So, for one, I've got a passion for being able to teach things. Ever since my days teaching martial arts back in the early 2000s, I just love to help people and love to help teach. And they had a great time. I mean, I think there might have been one or two that were a little timid when they came up to the line. But every shooter that came to the line, I asked them if they'd ever shot a shotgun before. I taught them how to stand. I taught them how to aim the gun. I taught them how to load the gun. And one of the ones that stands out, there was a lady, I'd say she was probably in her late 60s or early 70s. And I taught her how to aim and all that stuff. And every time that she pulled the trigger and hit one of those targets, she would yell, "I did it!" And it was just great. And I just love getting that kind of feedback. But everybody that came through there just had a great time.
Yeah. Now, I think I know who you're talking about because she shot the full auto rifle and she came off there cussing immediately. We were like, "Yeah, Grandma."
Yeah. I feel like almost everybody did that on the floor.
You dropped a few and Nick's eyes were just like,
definitely did.
Yeah, there were a few that were like, "Does this kick hard?" And I'm like, "No, if you hold it right and you lean into it the way that I show you, it's not going to be bad."
Right.
And I made sure to tell all of them to make sure to keep that buttstock good and solid against their shoulder, because if it comes off the shoulder and you pull the trigger, you're going to have a bad day.
Yeah. So, poor Trace. So Trace handled the other, I'll say, difficult, dangerous, and challenging areas. So
he did awesome. He did so awesome.
Yes.
Was that the only station that people was moving with loaded handguns?
Yep.
Yeah. So,
you're welcome.
I mean, honestly, I was extremely surprised with the, I guess I would say the level of caution that people gave. And, I mean, I didn't have any terrifying experiences or anything like that, but you had a couple that was kind of timid about whether it was drawn from the holster. Of course, if they was real timid about it, I would just start them at load ready. And, but I was extremely impressed with the amount of people that was just completely open with running around with a loaded handgun. And, of course, there was a few people that shot PCC, but, and of course, I think the farthest steel we had was 15 yards, but you could see the facial expressions as soon as they hit it and it fell. That was enough for it from me. I mean, that was just to see their joy that they had whenever they was shooting. But as far as people that, of course, I was kind of on a little more experienced side, and so there wasn't really anybody that come through there that hadn't had experience shooting a handgun or anything like that. So
Sorry.
But it was really rewarding. It was extremely impressive to see a bunch of women going through and shooting stages, because in USPSA you don't really see that often. So it was pretty cool to see myself.
Yeah. Now,
and Trace, you touched on something that I wanted to speak to. You're talking about the looks on their faces when they actually hit those steel targets and they went down.
Yep.
You know, there's a huge difference between somebody showing up to a match having no idea what's going on, or showing up somewhere where they've got somebody that has some experience teaching them the proper way to do it, and their success when they do it for the first time. You know, the takeaway is so different when you do that.
Yeah, whenever a person's shooting 2 at paper, I mean, they don't have that reactive, and then as soon as they shoot steel, it's a visual audio experience, and it's just half the people was just shocked that they hit the steel, and it wasn't hard to shoot, but it was that was
well, a lot of them, you know, they show up to matches, somebody to show them the proper way that they need to do things. They get frustrated because they don't hit the target. But then you come somewhere where you've got people that teach you the proper way to do things, and you have that success. And I think it builds a better takeaway experience for a person.
Yep.
So I have a dumb question, actually, Kelsey. Had you shot a Texas Star before?
Mm-mm.
Okay, that's
nope, I was the first.
Okay.
Yeah, I was addicted.
So that was,
it was so
that was
fun.
one of my goals. So, like, it's interesting you brought that up. It's like, okay, paper, cool, yeah. But, like, we put out Dueling Trio, Still Challenge Stage, the Plate Rack, the Texas Star, and stuff like that. Nobody really gets to shoot, even us as competitors, right? So, Kelsey, you've been shooting matches, and then you got to go out there and shoot a star. What was that like?
It was awesome, especially, like, hitting it and then just watched it spin, because I've seen it done 100 times, you know, on Instagram and videos and stuff, but I've never shot at one before. So to shoot it and hit it and watch it, it was awesome. I just wanted to keep doing it over and over. I think Trace and Ryan filmed me like 400 times going back doing it. I was just
so you mentioned the star. One of the ladies that was there is actually the wife of the guy that works with me. And I talked to him today, and he said she came home and the first thing she did was said she wanted to buy a Texas Star.
Yeah. I told Shane, I was like, we need to get a plate rack and a star for his mom's property where we go shoot. I'm like, we need it.
Yeah.
We need it so bad.
So, this is good and bad, right? So I had a dad came with one of his daughters, and I was like genuinely like afraid when he was like, I'm mad at you. And I was like, what did I mess up? Right. And he goes, this is going to make me come out of retirement to afford this. Yeah, that makes sense. And the reason I bring that up too is like going back to Crystal. Crystal, how long has Ryan wanted you to shoot a firearm? But then like you knew what it cost to shoot, but now you understand like how much fun it is and it's worth the cost, right?
Oh, no, I knew that I would be addicted. That's why I haven't. And I was just like, I'll let him have his fun. Because I was
it's your
like,
time to shine.
I was like, at first I was like, okay, I don't know if I need to be doing this, because if we both do it at the same time, it's going to be really expensive. But then I was just like, yeah, because I knew I was going to get addicted to it. So, but yeah, he's been almost 3 years, I think now, trying to get me. You know, we always had little family days here and there going to Windrock Shooting Range and had a great time there. So now, you know, of course, Eric and Kenzie have helped me out a lot on shooting and making myself better. But honestly, just going to the matches and just sitting and watching, and I've taken score and just learning how to do all of that has my thought process when going to shoot the gun has made it easier. So,
yeah, absolutely. So, out of everything you shot, Crystal,
yeah,
it doesn't have to be a PC, but of everything you shot, do you remember like what your favorite guns were?
At the actual because you know I've shot in oh my gosh, shot. I actually liked the AR pistol that was shorter. I liked that, and then I liked the Tony Martin had a CWA, I believe is what it was, a 22 pistol. loved that. I hit every steel with that. I don't think I missed once. Well, it felt like I didn't. I may have, but and then I used Tony Martin's AR to shoot the stage, and it was so light and easy to use. And of course, I used my husband's AR as well. The suppressor that he had with the fully auto, it felt like that was like you weren't shooting anything because the suppressor was on there. So yeah, I mean, everything. And the skeet, I finally got 1 out of 4 on the skeet, and I've never shot skeet in my life with a shotgun.
Aww.
That's
so
huge.
that was great. I felt awesome when I actually got 1 out of 4. So I was like, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's hard.
sorry, I got really excited.
No, that's why we were there.
Yeah.
Have you three? I know Crystal has shot full auto. Have you two shot full auto?
Yeah.
I had not. I had never shot before.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Well, that's why I cussed. Other than that, it was incredible. Just the sheer power of it was just amazing, and I was really surprised that I handled it the way I did. I feel like I did really well. I had a really good grip on it, and it was just awesome. It really, really was.
I was there for that moment. I got to record that moment.
Yes, and Rob was like, I get why they call it the giggle switch now.
Yes. Kelsey, same question. Like, what was that like?
Girl, I just no words. Like it was just the coolest thing in the world. Like I've always wanted to shoot one, and I didn't expect the dot to go like, there's zero control over that, but it was awesome.
It's so cool.
It was so excited.
Maybe not once a lifetime for you ladies, but like there is a lot that will be probably the only time that they ever would have had that opportunity.
Yeah.
And that was just so incredible that they actually brought that out for us to shoot. I mean, that was just something else. I mean, that was just amazing.
Trace, Rob, did I reveal that secret to y'all? I think I kept it under wraps. Like, did y'all know that?
I can't remember exactly whenever you told me.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to keep that from no women to know. I was like, we have a surprise. I'm not going to tell them. The ROs might be able to know, but nobody else, because it was just very exciting.
It was so awesome. Just the cherry on top of the day.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, okay, Trace, let's talk about this a little bit. You and I have been competing for a while. We've talked a lot with USPSA in general, I think, as a community of like, how do we grow the sport? How do we get more women, more kids shooting, right? But we talk a lot, but we don't really take that action, right? Like people kind of get through it with their friend, their boyfriend, like stuff like that. And that's fine. What did this event kind of mean to you as far as like bringing more people to the shooting sports or even just to the Second Amendment?
Well, so as well as I do, there's hardly any women that's actually in the sport, USPSA specifically. But I think the main reason that happens is whenever you go to a match, it's super intimidating, especially for a woman. And this event was really good for it. It was a super calm event, and there was no intimidation or anything because all the ROs were fantastic. And it was just really good to kind of introduce, because that's the hardest thing is getting into the sport. It's not so much actually like after your second match, you're kind of hooked anyways, but it's that first match. And then once your first match happens, if you have a bad experience, you're probably not coming back. So this was really good for especially the women because they had a really good experience. I can't name one person that didn't have a smile on their face whenever they come up to me, but I just think that was really good. It was a good icebreaker for a lot of women getting into the shooting sports. And of course, most of the women, the first time they ever fired a handgun. So I think the event was fantastic, to say the least.
The other stuff that was fun is we talked about this. We had our like slumber party sleepover at the camp the night before. So think about it. Okay, we're in our 20s, our 30s, 40s, whatever, right? We're all camping on the campsite. I crack up. So we were in these cabins, right? But think about it, Tree. Like, how often do you get to do that? Hang out, relax. You don't have the pressure of a match. we were there just to help out. Yep. How cool was that to connect with some of them and then, make friends almost?
Yeah, it was, because every time you go to a match, it's like it's game time. Like you don't have any time to have fun or anything. It's just you're there to basically do a job, and that was a real good relief for me. I needed it, honestly.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad you came. And for people listening too, Trace drove 5 hours. He was the only one on the range before everyone else because of the weather. And he brought the beer.
The weather wasn't ideal at all.
No. So somehow God was looking out for us. Friday, it tornadoed, the bottom dropped out, flooded the range, walls were blown over, and we couldn't sight in guns or do anything on that Friday. And so Saturday we were waking up to like, are we going to have this? I mean, of course, rain or shine. But we were like, let's see how bad it was. And it held off. It was like misty maybe a couple times throughout the day, but we really got lucky. And it was cool weather in the middle of May. Like, I'll take that over heat all day. It was perfect. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was absolute perfect temperature because you're moving just enough to stay right at the temperature that you need. And there was a good little breeze. It was great.
Yeah. I thought that was awesome. Now, Rob, we had the Magical Mystery Tour and you see Brian all across the country. Did you get an opportunity to like chat with Brian or catch up with him with the Hunter's HG Gold tent?
Oh yeah, I chat with Brian every event I go to.
That's awesome. What was his thoughts, or did you pick his brain on any of that?
Yeah, he was super stoked to be there. Kind of like what Trace was saying a little while ago. You've got a lot of new people showing up there, so you're able to make connections with a lot of people that otherwise would never have showed up to an event. And a lot of people, I feel like it's especially women, because Tori was just like this first match I took her to. One of the first questions they ask is, am I going to get made fun of because I'm no good? And once people get to talk to people like Brian or talk to ROs and stuff like that, and they realize that the people that are in this sport and the people that support this sport are great people, and they're going to do everything they can to help you out. And Brian is notorious for, handing people stuff to use, letting them borrow glasses. He let me borrow a holster at Area 6 because I was an idiot and ran off and left my belt at home, and I think that stuff like that is, super important for people to understand that, the people that are in this sport are not here to make fun of somebody that's new. They're here to support and help.
Yeah. Now, I have shared this, Rob. So Brian, I'm putting on this event, and I was telling Brian, I was like, hey, I want you to come to the event. And he was like, okay, if you get like 15 people, I'll come. So I got 15 people. Well, if you get 24 people, I'll come. So I got like 28 that week. And then he was like, all right, well, I need 40. And I was like, cool, got 47. What's next? I'm not kidding. I had the text message to prove this. He was like, if you get 50,
I feel like at this point, he's just messing with you.
No, he was, but it was the best thing ever. I was like, okay, and then okay, and he was like, damn it. He's like, I'm never betting against you. I was like, I wouldn't.
You were on a mission, Kenzie.
Oh, it was amazing. So yeah, we ended up with 75 registrations for the event. We had about, I think, 63 or so show up. I can't remember the exact number, and then we had 20 ROs. Like, we got really lucky and had a great time. So that was me being nervous about how many people we had. And I don't know. And like, feedback's good. Like, do you think there was too many people, too few people? Like, what would y'all have seen different?
No, I mean, I wasn't expecting for there to be that large of a turnout. Like you had told me before that the events that you had in Florida, you'd have 15 or 20 show up. I was expecting somewhere around that number. I was expecting maybe 30. And you told me we had 75 signed up, and I was just floored. I'm of the opinion the more the better.
Yeah.
Because that's how we grow the sport.
Yeah.
That's how we grow gun ownership. That's how we grow defensive 2A. I mean, I felt the event went really well.
I agree.
Any other thoughts, Crystal?
Yeah, I honestly thought that wasn't the first. I thought that wasn't the first time they had Gals Day there, honestly, because as many people as they had. I didn't realize it was the first ever.
For Tennessee, first ever. I'll say that. For Florida, I had 2, and I literally just showed up with what guns I had, and we would shoot them, and we would cover the range fee, and that was it. And we wouldn't have something like that. Like, we bring your own ammo type deal. So like this little tiny dream has bloomed now to like Tennessee, and like having it again next year. For those listening, May 13th, 2023. Send your ladies.
I'm there.
Me too.
Sign me up.
I've already got like 5 more coming.
All the women in my family are down to come.
Yeah,
Yeah.
girl, it's going to be huge next year.
It is. I think.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You know, you were talking about the girls bringing their own guns and stuff. I was amazed at the number of guns that we had.
Yes, I was
Welcome.
too.
You're welcome. That is your girl here collecting all of the fire.
You really, I mean, Kenzie, you did such an amazing job putting this event together. It was such a huge success. I mean, all the sponsors did so great, all the ROs. I mean, you really,
Thank you.
it was impressive. And
Yeah.
we can't wait till next year, really and truly.
I 100% agree.
You know, that was probably one of the things. I'll ask like Trace and Rob this too. Like, for events, I don't know if you all have been to any events. I know, Rob, you volunteered like for women's like 3-gun matches and stuff, but that was the biggest importance to me, because when you go to a range, right, you have to rent firearms. They're $15 for the rental, or $10, and then you have to buy the ammo, like blah blah blah. So like if you had shot everything you shot at Gals Day at a range, you're looking at probably $200. So for me, like, easily. For me, like I brought Walthers, HK, Smith and Wesson, Glock, Tauruses. I mean, like, I try to get the full spectrum of guns. Like, women can really shoot and try things. I know Kelsey like tried the single stage Timney trigger and the PCC versus, you know, other triggers that are out there. And so like DoubleStar brought their different variety of rifles, long ones, short ones, different triggers were in those, like the Calvin Elite Timney triggers. Then they had just like the 3-pound AR trigger. And then Tony Martin, dude, he crushed it too. Like, he brought that CWA is like a $2,500 gun. It's 22, but it's nice. And he brought his own PCC, so, and his rifles. So like all of these variety of guns, that's what you should have. How many ladies out there do you think would have touched that many guns in their lifetime?
Oh, absolutely none of them. Like, I mean, maybe some of them, but a lot of them, no. I would say probably 75% of them, no.
Yeah. Trace, what were your thoughts on all of that, like, variety and, you know, red dots, irons? Like, we kind of had a collection. You sighted them all in too. Thanks, bud.
Well, yeah. I had to sight them all in at
6:30 in the morning.
Should put you to work.
Yeah, I don't even remember how many pistols I sighted in. It was like 7 or 8.
7?
I can't even remember. Yeah, but I mean, honestly, like I haven't even fired that many guns of my own, like that many variety, and it was like that was probably the best experience women could have, because I mean, whenever a woman goes into a gun store to purchase whatever gun, I mean, the people that, of course, I know this because my brother works at a gun shop, but the people that's working at the gun shop is going to be biased towards whatever gun they want to sell. Well, they have, at Gals Day, they have the perfect opportunity to fire out. How many handguns did you even have? Like 20 something?
Yeah, I brought 32 handguns, and I think I had like 7 rifles. Like, I've been collecting over the years, so just for this, I don't even shoot them.
Yeah. I mean, it was perfect, because it's completely different just holding one in a gun store or whatever and having somebody tell you, hey, this is the gun you need. Mm-hmm. So having
a revolver, because you can't pull the slide.
Yeah,
Revolver,
exactly.
Always the 2.
But holding a gun and having it going off in your hand is completely different. And the women, they had the perfect opportunity to experience what it was. And they had ROs that could walk them through it and talk them through it and not be condescending toward them. And it was, I don't think that the event could have went any better. I mean, we could have probably had more ROs. That way we could have had more like a 1-on-3 experience. That way it was more directed, not like copy paste.
Yeah.
But that would be the only thing that you could spend a whole day in itself just on the fundamentals of gun handling and stuff like that. But given the time that we had, I think we did amazing.
There's the Well Armed Women and a Girl and a Gun. Like, I do like those organizations, but they require membership, so you have to pay for the membership. And most of those people that are in those groups, they already are women who shoot cowboy action, USPSA, 3-gun, or they're at their local range a lot. And so this was a 0 barriers for entry, which was my goal. No membership. I'm not affiliated with anything. You don't have to do anything but show up, show up. And that's really hard to do. You have to have that person that's the catalyst to make that happen.
Yep.
And rope in all of their friends. Yeah. Kelsey, what was your favorite part about all of it? And do you have a couple of favorite guns that you liked?
Rob's shotgun actually was one of them, because I've never gotten down shotgun. That was the one thing I just hated shooting, because I could never hit anything. And he explained it, and it was comfortable, and I hit the targets, and I was just so excited. And then Ryan's PCC made me actually want to sell my MPX. Sorry, because it made me realize I need that recoil. It was just, I think I repeated that 100 times when I was there. I probably irritated everyone with that, because I was just so excited. But and then Trace's the SIG, I was like, okay, I need to try out carry optics again. So he actually, being able to shoot that, I hit a target, gained my confidence, leveled it up a little bit to okay, I'm going to try this out. So I didn't really get a touch on a whole lot. I was trying to kind of help, and then kind of stuck with Ryan's PCC and then Trace's pistol. So I didn't get to do a whole lot, but Rob, thank you for the shotgun tips. And I thought I would have liked the AR platform better. That I have a bruise. that definitely was a little bit heavier of a kick than I expected, but I really enjoy shotguns. I want to get more into that. And so I think I'm going to try 3-gun out and all that too.
Yeah. So
you should.
Chelsea, when she came up and she shot the gun, after she shot all the targets, she goes, maybe 3-gun isn't my future.
Yeah. I was so excited. Oh my gosh.
But that's a perfect example of what I was talking about earlier that I love to see. I love to be able to help teach and impart that knowledge and get people to understand that, yes, you can do this.
Yeah. Yeah. And the Timney trigger too, and the PCC that I shot the skill challenge with too, was so smooth. So I need to upgrade my trigger to Timney, because it was fantastic. No issue. I loved it.
Oh yeah, you've got that discount code sitting in your email box from them.
Ooh, okay.
Oh yeah.
I have to go shopping. I'm getting a Legion. I'm getting a new trigger. I gotta get the optics.
I've already told Rob that our company needs to give me a raise so I can start really getting it.
Yeah. So we're getting ready to leave for Florida. We've got to go to a wedding, but we're going to shoot 3 matches while we're down there. So I'm rolling around right now with a shotgun, 2 ARs, 3 pistols, 750 rounds of pistol ammo, 400 rounds of shotgun, 350 rounds of rifle ammo. So I'm basically a rolling gun safe right now.
We're going to shoot clays on Friday as well. Ooh. And that was because I've never shot clays until last weekend at Gals at the range. And I just, it was incredible. The 2 that he shot out for me, I got them both. And it was great because Rob got to see me do it. They were waiting on, our area to finish. And I looked over at him. He just the biggest grin on his face. I was like, yes, I just did that.
And that was one of the questions I want to ask. So you've got your boyfriend that's super supportive there, helping out too. And you did your own thing while he, worked, and your son came, and your son was a huge help, was not a hindrance, was excited to be there, loved being around that. So he's 8, right?
He just turned 8 in April.
So he's 8 years old, seeing this happen. Can you imagine what his future is going to be teaching the next group or getting involved and wanting to shoot? What was that?
That was one of the biggest reasons why I wanted him to come. So I wasn't raised around guns. I did not have, I think I'd maybe shot a gun twice in my life before I met Rob. Once in the ground in Texas and once here in Tennessee in the woods at a target 70 feet away. I got it, but down at the bottom. And I never shot before. And I really want him to not just and if he doesn't want to shoot, that's fine, but just to know the safety of it. There are so many kids nowadays that don't know, and they get hurt because their parents have guns out and open, and then that's how they hurt themselves, and he can help teach other people, and just the environment alone. Everyone is so welcoming and so friendly, and they just make you feel at ease. And he got to experience that. I think he has been scared of them. I got him an airsoft rifle for Christmas to start practicing with the safety and everything. And I think him seeing how relaxed it was put him at ease a little bit more as to, this isn't scary. This is okay.
Well, we live in a time where, the media pushes continually, guns are bad, guns kill people, and it's fear mongering, and kids see that and they become afraid of it.
Yeah. They do, absolutely.
And when they become afraid of it, they don't learn how to properly handle it.
Mm-hmm. He used to say, "It's creepy."
As Isaac would say, it's creepy.
He's like, "That's creepy."
Well, and it's a matter of maturity too. So like when you can have kids on the range and they're just mature enough to be there, like it just makes life easy, which is really
cool. Yeah, he had a blast. Every time they called cold range, he would run out there with the guys and help set up the steel targets, and he'd run back, and he was all about it.
So cute. Okay, Crystal, you've been quiet, so I actually had a question for you. So I've been trying for the better part of a year to get you to take my concealed carry class for Tennessee. So what are we thinking now, if that's going to happen or not?
You just did. Yes, I am going to be. I was going to actually text you today and be like, "Hey, I need to get my carry permit. I need to get in your class ASAP." Yeah.
Good. Yeah. All right, Crystal, Tori, July 9th. Figure it out.
Yes, I got it.
October, but figure it out.
I may have Isaac, but he'll be good.
That's fine. That is fine. Good, because I wanted Crystal to do that. Trace, this is one for you. And we talked about this offline, so this is coming from a loving place. And ladies, you can help me support this. Trace would be an amazing instructor. He is an amazing instructor. So like, I know you and I have talked about like the future of you're at the level and you want to be able to like teach at some point. How did this like help that confidence or help you realize like, hey, you can teach people and they understand what you're saying?
So as far as giving instruction and stuff like that, up until this event, like it had been like 2 or 3 people at the most. And I honestly don't know how many people that I had come through my station. It was at least 50 people. Mm-hmm. And having that back to back, it was a huge confidence builder for me that, yes, I'm a GM, but I actually know what I'm talking about. So it was a good confidence builder that, hey, I can actually teach. And I really needed that. But just it was good for me to actually see that the information that I was relaying to people was actually connecting and they actually understood. And it was, I mean, people that had never fired a handgun was shooting a whole USPSA stage. And that's, I mean, that's unheard of, really. Yeah. And because typically it's just on an indoor range at one target and you're not moving. So it was really good for me. But
well, Grace, I thought you already was an instructor, honestly. The way that you were good.
I mean, the drills he told me to try doing, it was the 2 and 2, was it, Trace?
Yeah.
The drills to help me with the pistol and the red dots. I mean, you just made everyone feel so comfortable that came up to your stage, really and truly.
Well, and it's interesting, and you may have experienced this, Trace, as an instructor of anything. When you teach somebody to do something, it forces you to look at it in a different light.
Yep.
You see it from their point of view, and a lot of times you'll think about things in a way that you didn't think about them before.
Yep. It definitely sheds new light on stuff.
Yeah.
100%.
I have to share this. This is so cool. So I'm not bashing on men, so please don't get angry for listening to this. I enjoy teaching women more sometimes, especially new people, whether they are female or male. But when they're new and they have no like bad habits or they haven't been taught anything, I guess, wrong or whatever. It's easy. And women are just so, I feel like, much more coachable and mental.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Well, men, you know, whether it's firearms, whether it's martial arts, whether it's music, doesn't matter what it is. I've taught a lot of different things. But men tend to let their ego come out.
Yep.
And it's harder to teach them because they don't want to listen. You know, they hear what you're saying, but no, I've done this way, so this has to be right, you know.
Yeah. Yep. So the reason I wanted you to read, I'm reading this verbatim. So I asked a question on the post-event survey. What made you want to attend McGall's Day at the Range event? I shit you not, verbatim. Husbands aren't always the best teachers. I wanted to say the ladies and my peers.
That's so funny.
So that was one of my favorite. And like another one wrote, didn't feel intimidating being new, surrounded by ladies. Like that was pretty cool. And then just somebody else, this was really important. She said, shooting's been a part of her life since a child. She said, I was diagnosed with breast cancer over 2 years ago and had not shot a gun since surgery and finishing treatment. This was a great opportunity to get me back in the saddle. Had a blast.
Wow.
And I know a lot of you saw the cards on Facebook that I posted and stuff, but I don't think you realize there were people that wrote, this was the best day of my life. Someone else wrote, this is lifetime memories, like stuff that they best day ever. And like a lot of them meant it. So when I'm reading some of this feedback, like I'm overwhelmed at what we did. I didn't do this. This is a we. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And everyone's dead silent on that thought.
No, I think.
I mean, it's just it's so incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, really and truly, I think I ran around all day, and every time I saw Rob, I was like, I'm having the best time of my life. That's all I said.
Yeah, that's how I was. That's exactly how Caitlin and I were too. Like we were so excited, and I just kept repeating, "This is literally the best day ever. This is the best day ever." It was just.
I was going to say, all the women walking around, that's all I heard all day. I can't believe this is amazing. I'm having the best time. This is the greatest experience. That's all I ever heard the whole day from everybody.
Yeah. Everyone was like smiles, huge smiles at the end. Like when everyone's kind of walking out and stuff, everyone just looked so happy. It was just the best feeling to be a part of that, to witness that. And
it was, to actually see that. And especially if you've shot before, you know, seeing women who've never shot at all, you know, walk away with that confidence and those smiles on their faces, you know, it was just incredible. It really was.
Yeah. There was a lot of women that had mother-daughter or like best friends, and that was cool. Like Kelsey had yours, and Malin, her friend, came. And like Tori, like you've been there and around enough people, and you're so outgoing. So that's amazing. I do want to say a little bit of props too to Crystal. Crystal, for you to know that like your husband's busy and you had to kind of run around on your own. Like you knew Malin, you knew Kelsey, you knew people, but like that takes guts for you to kind of go by yourself and walk around and be like, I'm going to figure this out, right?
Oh, well, I mean, as much as I'm at the ranges and everything, I wasn't intimidated at all, and I work with the public, so I'm not scared of people. And so, I mean, it was fun. It was a great experience. I loved it.
Yeah, there was a few ladies that came all by themselves, completely by themselves.
I felt like the whole environment of it, everyone was so open and friendly. I mean, people were making friends with each other, you know, when we first got out there. I mean, we were making friends the night before.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about, this is on a side note. Trace, you were there for lunch. Were anyone else there for lunch shooting? I can't remember.
I ran off to lunch because Caitlin was starving, and I was like, I don't want to eat. I want to shoot. So we ran up there and ran straight back. So
I wanted to stay and shoot, but I knew I had to feed Isaac or else he was going to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets hangry.
He does very quickly.
Thank you, Crystal, for bringing me food. By the way, that was excellent friendship.
I just know how hungry you get.
Breakfast and forgot a fork.
No, Crystal, you brought, oh my God, all of the fruit and all the salad. Oh my God, it was so good. Thank you. Take care of your instructors.
You're welcome.
Take care of your instructors. I swear, like that's the biggest thing is like we don't eat, we don't drink. Trace, I think we had a lot of meat sticks and sugar
protein bars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Malin was walking around with bags of pickles.
And Nick brought the jar.
I got in on that.
Nick brought the whole jar of pickles. God, those were good. So important is range snacks.
I know, right? I bought some just to take with us on Friday.
Right.
Oh, God.
So, Trace, I want you to tell a story.
Oh,
So-
Lord.
So what happened? What happened over lunch with $100? And do you remember the times?
Oh, I just missed that. I was so
I
bummed.
don't remember the times exactly,
do.
but
I do. Go.
I know Brian laid it down first.
Yep,
It
159.
was, on Smoke and Hope.
What was the bet?
And
What was the bet?
it was the fastest time, wasn't it? Because I wasn't a part of it. I was just ROing. So
PCC, fastest time, and you only had like the four strings. Like
yeah, four strings, and so he was holding it at what 159, something like that.
Yep.
And I think he was the next shooter, right?
Ryan was next. Remember what he got?
I do not. I actually do not.
152.
Wow.
Okay, wait for it. And so Brian bet $100. Whoever gets fastest. Who was the third shooter?
I believe that was you.
And you remember the time? You read it off the timer.
151. I do remember that part.
I have that video, Trace, and I look like an asshole, and I don't know if I can post it. Like,
I need a copy of it.
you
You need
did.
to text it to me.
Crystal, I need you to speak. Okay, I need you to share about the rivalry between Ryan and I, and how hard I've been working on beating him, and what that moment meant to me, even though you weren't there.
Yeah, it's like brothers and sisters fighting. I mean, you guys are like brother and sister. You butting heads.
But like, he's beaten me, I've beaten him, and then I lay down the fastest time. Now, what do you think that did to him?
What? He went back to his trailer and never come back.
Well, didn't he win something too? He told me he won something too. I don't know what it was.
He said he won $100 is what he said.
Yeah.
Technically, and it sucked, but he went and got his gun. So he goes and gets his gun. He does 4 more strings, and he laid down like a 145. So I gave him the $100 because that's fair. But then in hindsight, I was thinking it should have been 4, 4, and 4, and like that's it. But what do I know? I gave him the money. However, in the 3 and the evens, I beat him, and that is all that I care.
Like, that's all that matters.
For lunch.
I mean,
That would have been so fun.
It was really fun. So Trace, like those kind of moments, like how often do you get to just be and shoot and compete and talk shit and like just enjoy the range?
Never.
You ladies have no idea.
It's
Well, especially the last 2 years. I mean, ammo's been sky high, and it's been too expensive to compete, and do much. So,
but like Trace, when you hit the range, you are serious. You are there to compete.
it's all business. Like it's not joking time or anything. It's you're putting a whole lot of money into something. You want a good return. So, but this event, I didn't have anything in it except my time, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it was me giving back in itself. So
yeah. So I'll leave. We can end on this and do like a round robin kind of thing. What did you guys think about the fact that Brian drove from Alabama with the van? Nick drove down from Kentucky with his mom, who attended the event and brought the guns, and all of these sponsors that sent prizes and ammo and like all of this stuff for every single person to walk away. Like just this little event in like Eastern Tennessee, like
it was awesome. Like I was so shocked to see the amount of stuff that sponsors put forth. And then when you said like we're supplying ammo, I was like, mind blown, absolutely mind blown. So I can't thank them enough for what they contributed to that, because that really helped make the event what it was. It was just awesome. So
I think it definitely, I think everybody walking away with a goodie bag at the end of the day, I think it made it even better for them, because then they had like patches and stickers and things to take home and gift certificates and stuff to help them not only get started, but help them remember how much fun they had. It was just such an incredible thing that all of these sponsors supplied all these things for us. It was great.
Yeah.
Made the day.
Well, that just underpins, what I said earlier. The sponsors, the people that are in the shooting community are just the best people in the world.
Absolutely. I was very nervous. And then I went to my first match with you and I didn't shoot, but I just saw the vibe. Everyone was so welcoming. I'd never met anybody and they were just all so nice. And then the first one that I shot was just absolutely incredible. I was so nervous. And then once I got up there and I shot my first stage, it all just kind of melted away. You're out there shooting the shit and hanging out and it's just incredible.
Mm-hmm. Crystal, I know you're unmuting and muting playing with that game.
Yeah, I am. I was unmuting and mute. No, I honestly, like I said before, I thought this was done before, so it seemed professionally done, and I had a great time. Everybody was wonderful. I have not one complaint.
That's awesome. Trace, final thoughts?
Well, I think it was just an amazing event. And the sponsors, the event wouldn't have been possible without the sponsors because, with the mass variety of firearms with H&K and trying different triggers with Timney and stuff like that, and the variety of ammo that was supplied, this event wouldn't even been possible at the price point that the ladies had to pay for the event to even happen. So I think the event was amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we charged $50, which covered all of the 12 gauge, 20 gauge, 22 t-shirts and food, and just like little supplies like Targets and Staples and all that good stuff. Thinking about that, and again, sponsors made that possible, and I'm gonna have to call on them every year. Love you guys. Hopefully they'll be in. But
for them to collectively kick in over 10,000 rounds of ammo with the environment that we're in today, that says a lot.
More than that, too.
Absolutely.
More than that, and all the goodies. That was huge. What would y'all, I'm just curious, what would you think that event like this, with no sponsors, no ammo, if we were supplying the ammo, what do you think this would have cost? Or the value?
Oh my God, upwards of tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Well, per person, what would you have paid?
Oh, per person?
I'd say $200 a person.
Yeah, I would say so too. Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah. That's what I was kind of doing in my head. It's crazy. And I want to keep that cost down. I want to figure out how to keep moving forward. Cause just in general, you all know, how did you find ammo when you got started? You went to probably Walmart, right? But you don't know there's online people or what to pay for or what's crazy, what's not, or all of that. So it's the ease of them just show up. I made it where it just show up. We got eyes, we got ears, we got everything, just show up. Right. And there was ladies, I don't know if you had this, Trace or Rob. Did you have any ladies come up and literally say hey, I haven't even taken my gun out of my box?
Oh yeah.
I hear that a lot. They'll buy a concealed carry and never have touched it. They don't even know what they have.
Mm-mm.
They can't say. And then of course they're not going to comfortably conceal carry because they're not confident with it. Yeah. They have no idea what they have. They just know it goes bang.
Yeah.
Oh.
I remember one lady came up, she had a 40 cal and she's like, yeah, my husband sent me with this and some ammo. And I was like, we're going to put that one down. We'll come back to that. And then someone else came with, I won't name the guns because bless their hearts, right? They're trying to make guns, but a couple of females came up and they safetied themselves on one. The other one wouldn't function. I even was like, hey, can I pick it up and try it? And she had never even taken it out of the box, but I oiled it and tried to get it to run, wouldn't feed. And I'm not surprised because I know those guns, right? That was eye-opening for them to be able to show up, try their own guns, realize that doesn't work. That's not going to, be a great concealed carry gun. Or, hey, my gun doesn't run. What do I do?
That's my best friend, her mom, I was telling them about it. They're also wanting to come as well next year. She was telling me that she was wanting to get a couple of guns by the next year. And so I said, well, why don't you send us what you're looking at? I immediately sent it to Rob and he immediately shot it down. It's events like this that help women figure out what works best for them. Because if she had gone into the store and said, this is what I want, that's exactly what they would have sold her.
Yep.
Well, and you provided literally a once in a lifetime opportunity for these people to come out. Because I remember when I started USPSA, I was terrified. My ex got into it and he was like, you're going to compete. And I'm like, Like, absolutely freaking not, you know. And I showed up and I was terrified and I was the only female. I had no clue what I was doing. They kind of walked me through it, but I had never even been really behind a trigger before. And so you provided this opportunity for so many women to either do it for the first time and build that confidence and learn everything the right way, instead of just kind of, you know, picking up bad habits by, you know, without even knowing. So that was the best part.
And Trace, I think I had gear for like 6 belts, PCC, Canics, HKs, blocks, 2011s. Like,
it was a little unorganized, to say the least.
My tablet stuff.
Yeah,
it's like 3 guns, 12 magazines, 1 gun, 6 magazines. There's a lot.
Yeah, it was. It was. We had a good little system going, because we had a couple ROs that was actually fitting the women for the belts and the guns and stuff, and they would just kind of push them up to me, and then I would RO them and like kind of show them the ropes and everything. But it was a really good event.
All right, I have one final thing. Then I'll do a final wrap up. Sorry, I know we're going long. Trace, this was pretty cool. You didn't know that there's 2 girls, actually. I didn't know this. One had seen me shoot at Area 6, and she was one of the like reset staff ROs. And she didn't tell me this till 2 o'clock. So I've got her at like 10 a.m. shooting her PCC. She had an MPX, actually, Kelsey. And she was not sure how to reload. She's a little bit smaller figured, a little bit shorter. And what she was doing is she was shooting her PCC, dropping it down, tucking it under her arm, then hitting the mag release, then reloading the gun. I had her for 5 minutes. I got her to keep the gun up, hit the mag, and move her hand, or mag release, and move her hand at the same time to reload, because she was still doing this process of hitting, keeping her hand here, then finally reaching down. So then I said, all right, you go tell Trace next door that you have to do a mandatory reload in the middle of the stage. He had no idea that this had happened, right? So Trace, what happened next?
So she come over to me, and then she told me that she said, Kenzie wants me to do a mandatory reload on this stage. And of course, she was holding the MPX, and I was like, okay. She said, so where do you want me to do it? So I told her, and so I run her on the stage, and like, she finished the stage, and I was just blown away.
We all were.
It was just, it was probably the smoothest PCC reload I've ever seen.
Wow.
And I looked at her, I was like, do you shoot any? She was like, well, I just kind of started USPSA, and Kenzie's been helping me. And I was like, oh my Lord.
She blew me away. She was so good. And that reload, holy moly, it was crazy.
5 minutes, Kelsey, 5 minutes of like maybe, I don't know, 20 rounds, and me forcing her to kind of do it, not forcing it, challenging her, and she was up for it.
Yeah. 5
minutes, and like, I want that to happen. That was the coolest experience ever. And the fact that Trace like had not known like the connection point there, it's pretty cool.
It was so smooth and so fast. I didn't realize, it took me a second to even realize that she had reloaded.
Yeah.
I was like, what just happened? Like, I mean, it's hard to reload a PCC, I'll say that. And usually you have a magazine big enough that you don't have to. So you kind of get spoiled. You don't really practice with it a lot. So when she did, when she did that girl was just phenomenal.
Well, and Kelsey, you know, like the MPX, it has the like banana mag, the angle.
Yeah. Which you would think would be easy just to kind of like scoop it in. No, it's absolutely not. I can't see those things to save my life.
Yeah. So that was really cool. So she told me, she saw me shoot, Googled my name, found my website, found the event, got her friend involved, and they drove from North Carolina. So we had ladies from North Carolina, Kentucky, Georgia, Tennessee, and it sounds like next year we're going to have them from across the country.
Yeah.
So.
And Florida. Can't forget Florida.
Did I say Florida? Did I miss Florida?
You missed Florida.
Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, North Carolina. You're right. There we go.
Yeah, all of them.
Too many. All right.
I'm sure people will be flying in.
Yeah, there was people that were saying like, oh, I'm going to come from Nebraska. I'm going to come from Arizona. I think Timney's going to come from Arizona next year and help out. Yeah. So
my sister will be coming from California. So
crazy. Next year we're going to have to do like where are you coming from? Because I have no idea.
I think that would be incredible. You know, it would be cool if you got like a big map and people just sign their name on the state they're coming from.
That would be
That's
cool.
awesome.
And then you could frame it and put it on like Facebook or something like that.
Okay, I'm writing that down.
Have a push pin with
I'm
their,
full
they
of
could write their
ideas.
name.
Yeah, I just wrote that down. The other thing I forgot to do, and I know better, is at the Gundies we did the Mad Minute where everyone's shooting for a whole minute, and then a cowboy action shoots after the end. We normally put our shotguns up and we all shoot into like the air or the berm. We should have, my fault, gotten everybody together. I don't think that range would have been able to have it, but next year we're just gonna shoot at the same time and record that. Like finish up.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool.
We'll put Trace in the middle with the machine gun.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Firing squad.
Yeah, that. We'll put some male form out there. No. All right, guys. Thank you for joining. I want to give the last final thoughts, and this doesn't have to be event specific. It could be about like your experience, what the future of this looks like next year, and just like maybe like the power of the whole thing, whether it's concealed carry, shooting, learning, teaching. Kelsey, I'll start with you.
Talking. I should have had some alcohol first. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we're not kidding.
This opens me
Should
up.
have.
I'm with
Trace is like, I got a beer.
Beer.
I don't know. I think Kenzie, you started something really big. You and the sponsors and the staff, that everyone came together, and it's going to create an opportunity for women to come in. And I think we're going to start seeing more people, more women in USPSA, 3 gun, like whatever it might be. But yeah, now I'm nervous. But yeah, I think you really started something huge, and just provided a platform for women just to come in and like learn and just be around and just feel. And I had told so many people, every single person I talked to, I said this: if you go to a match, even if you just spectate after today, I said how nice the ROs were, how nice and helpful everyone was. I said that's exactly how every match is. You will find people, and I try and really amplify that to people, any male, female friends, but even before this event, like if you just go and just even spectate, people will talk to you. Like you'll be able to build your opportunity up and learn and grow and all that. So you definitely provided a good platform.
I set the bar high. I'm a little nervous.
Yes. Yes, girl, it's going to be huge next year. Oh my God.
Absolutely.
Huge.
Oh man. Crystal, final thoughts for you, babe?
I just can't wait till next year, honestly, and see. We're going to have a bigger turnout. I can't wait to help. I really enjoy doing it, but I really, I like doing events. So that was fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. So your goals next year, I'm putting them down for you. You're going to have your own gun next year. You're going to have your concealed carry permit by next year's events. And like, that would be awesome. I think the more years that we do this, or even from now to then, like having you ladies as ROs would be so cool. That's like the goal I want to get to. So if we can train you all up or what have you, like that would be awesome.
I will say I got an RO for the first time for 2 people, and I've never tried it before. I did it for Glock match once for 5 minutes, and it was really cool. So that is something that I do. That will be a goal for next year. So that'll be cool. Yeah.
If I can get 10 females next year, and then the next year recruit another 10, another 10, like we're moving.
Yep. It's going to be a whole weekend event at that point.
Yes. Retreat. All right, Tori, Rob, you guys.
I literally told Rob when we left, I said, I really want to get to the point of where I can help next year and help RO and just help with the event. I said, it's so incredible being able to, have something like that for women to come to. It was just incredible. I mean, it was such a great event. It was so well put together. There was just so much support, from the volunteers and the sponsors and everything. And I think everybody just had such a wonderful time, and so many people left with this new experience that they never thought they would enjoy. I mean, it was just incredible.
Mm-hmm. You're all quiet.
Oh, sorry. I was waiting for her to finish.
I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great thing for the 2A community in general. Like I said before, this is how we grow. This is how we grow gun ownership. This is how we protect our rights. This is how we grow shooting sports. And again, I have a huge passion for teaching and instructing, period. And I loved it. And I can't wait to do it again.
Love it. Trace, bring us home.
Well, I think this was probably the best event that I've ever been a part of. And like Rob was saying, building the gun community. I mean, this is probably, I wouldn't say the only way to bring girls into the sport, but it is definitely the best way to bring girls into the sport, because they're not going to come to a USPSA match by themselves like they did at Gals Day. That's not going to happen. I mean, yeah, unless you're Kenzie, but you're one of kind.
Like the most extroverted person. Yeah.
But I mean, the only thing I can say is we had like 75 people at this event, and it's definitely going to grow. Definitely going to need more hands to help. 100%.
Yep.
Because I definitely see, given the weather and everything, I definitely see the event doubling.
Yeah,
for next year.
Easy.
I think that it was a perfect day too. The day before Mother's Day, I mean, a lot of people were coming for that weekend, and that's what I even told my family. I think it was the perfect day for it. I mean, you really picked a good one.
So yeah, that'll be my final thoughts there. So like Camp Davy Crockett, they typically, like, they're booked out for years, right? They know that they're gonna have their Boy Scout camps in the summers and the falls. The Mother's Day weekend is the one weekend where the camp is shut down. So like all the cabins and staff village are open to rent, and there's 4 per cabin or whatever. There's a lodge, and you can literally stay on the property. They feed you breakfast, they feed you lunch. And the other thing too that people don't know is, like, you can bring your dog as long as they stay on a leash. Like, your dog can be out there. So if you need to do that and come for the whole family weekend, cool. You know, and a lot of the husbands, boyfriends, dads, like that, there was a few that were out there. Like, you can come spectate, come hang out, come watch. Like, you know, that does not bother me at all. And I think that's, you know, a help for some of the people that are younger. Like, I had a lot of youths that were like 14 to 16 that came out with their dad, and that was really important. Yeah. So save the date for everybody listening, May 13th, 2023. Like Trace said, that was one of my final thoughts. We need help next year. So if you're listening to this, please consider reaching out to me, getting your name on a list, because I would love to see 50 ROs. I would love to have even more than that. And then, I know Rob and I were talking offline about this, but I would love to have an RO day the day before, where it's like dinner, shooting, or like have like Trace, like we did at lunch, is some RO competition.
Well, friendly competition. Yeah.
Not with me and Ryan. Everybody else.
Exactly.
Yeah. That was a ton of fun. That camaraderie, and like, again, so many people that are listening to this are, you know, caught up in the shooting sports. This is the one place where we can have fun, forget about all of that, and just enjoy it. Bring your own guns. Like, we all got to shoot each other's. That was pretty cool too. So, awesome. Well, I'm going to leave this again, just thanking the sponsors. So I'm going to run down this one more time. If you're listening to this podcast, check out Instagram.com/3GunKenzie. And in my bio, there's a link to a lot of these discount codes from these companies. So support the people that are supporting not just matches and events, but like the Second Amendment too. Like, if you know these companies are standing up for our rights, support them. And so these companies, again, help make this happen. Vel Ammunition, Hunters HD Gold, DoubleStar USA, Timney Triggers, Run and Gun Industries, Tactical, Steel Target Paint and RangeStore.net, EGW Inc, CNC Indoor Range, Go Fast Don't Suck, NotchGear, Tru-Spec, Heckler Koch, Wideners, and the hosts of our event, Camp Davy Crockett. Guys, thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for coming and helping.
Thank you for
Thank you.
Thank you so much, girl.
Yeah, thank you, Kenzie. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. This is awesome. Friends and family for life. You're stuck with me, by the way. So
listen,
I've been stuck with you for years.
Rob literally yelled at me. He's like, "You're stealing all of my friends." I was like, "I can't help it."
I did not yell at you.
Well, not yell, but he was like, "You're stealing all my friends."
Rob doesn't yell. Rob's the most patient man. So is
he is. He's never yelled, not once.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning into the podcast. This was a really special one for me. So thanks for listening. Look forward to next week's episode of the Reticle Up Podcast. Thanks for listening to the Reticle Up Podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Follow along on social media at Reticle Up or 3GunKenzie.